Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. So today's topic is going to be about choosing you, but I'm going to start out with my bag of words to see what I'm inspired to share with you today about choosing you. All right, limitless. Fantastic. Limitless. Limitless is what you feel when you choose you. In other words, you will feel no parameters when you choose you. When you choose you, not in an egotistical sense of way, but more like choosing to honor your soul's calling, right? You will feel limitless because you are honoring your soul, and that will expand you. When you try to control things, create things out of a mental space solely, meaning you're thinking this is the way to do it because this is the way to make the most money, then it's easy to get off track, and it's also easier to start to feel constricted and limited in some way. But when you start from that calling, that good feeling from within, that space where you feel inspired, where you feel passionate, and you choose you, you will feel limitless. And a lot of times when we think about choosing ourselves, we can think of ourselves as selfish. But that's not really 100% true, right? It depends on how we're choosing ourselves. And when we're choosing ourselves by honoring our soul, then we're not being selfish, right? We are serving our soul's calling. And yes, there are other things, right, that we have to deal with in life, and we give those things attention too. But when we choose ourselves, we don't put ourselves last. We know what we need to do, right? Not only in relation to our responsibilities, but in relation to what we feel called to do from within. All right, let me see what other word I picked from my bag of words. And quality. Okay, so quality. Quality is interesting because when we choose ourselves, we give quality, right? We give quality work. We show up with a lot more substance, right? We're not showing up from a shallow place because we're trying to force things. We are showing up from a space of love, of passion, of a calling, of something that inspires us. And when we honor that, we are going to show up with a lot more quality. Not necessarily quantity, right? In other words, we may not do 50 things, but we may do just the right amount of what we need to do in the way that feels good from within, right? That has this nice quality to it and not this shallow quality to it. And my last word is dream. All right, so of course I think dream big. Yes, dream big. That was the first word that popped into my head with dream. So there it is, dream big, right? Be limitless and go for it. Now, that sounds easy, right? It sounds like a good, inspiring slogan. Dream big, go for it. But it's not as easy as it sounds, right? Because we have to contend with our shadow side. We're going to feel scared. We're going to question ourselves along the way. We're going to doubt ourselves along the way, right? And that's all normal because that's part of the human experience. But we need to address it, because if we don't address it and we pretend it's not there and we're just going to keep on moving forward and we're just going to be positive, then we're eventually going to hit a wall, because we're going to feel like, okay, we could only get but so far without really addressing what else we're feeling within, or what else we're thinking, right? What beliefs are lingering behind our head somewhere, right? If we just ignore that, we're not going to get too far. We're going to exhaust ourselves. So we want to address whatever it is that is coming up for us, whatever fears, whatever beliefs, whatever doubts we're having, and we want to address it in any way that we feel called to, and as many times and as many different ways as we need to, until the issue feels resolved. In other words, when we've come to a place that it is no longer looming in the back of our head in a way where it hinders us, right? If it comes up, we then know what to say to ourselves so that we shift from that space. So, we just keep on working at it until we get to that space, right, where it's no longer holding us back and taking over our dream, right? It's not superseding our dream. And I like to always remind myself that I don't walk alone. It is that knowing, right, that this is not just a space that I'm in, right? This is not just some like loosey-goosey dream. This is something that's coming from within. And it is like a soul's calling, right? Intuitively, we know what it is that we want, but sometimes we get scared and we try to run from it. But when we don't run from it and we connect with it, right, and we acknowledge that there's something more going on here, right? My mind would tell me this, but my heart is telling me this. And this heart space, right, this inner desire is coming from somewhere. Why this and not that, right? In other words, why do I want to do this and not do that? And not because that is so bad. It's just that that's not really my calling. This is my calling. So I'm going to be drawn to this. It's no right or wrong, but it's just about following what it is that's coming from within, and knowing that if it's coming from within, then it's part of us. And if it's part of us, it's part of our journey. And if it's part of our journey, we want to address it, or we will leave ourselves desiring more, and feeling frustrated, and a lot of other things that can manifest from not following that calling, and acknowledging that there's this energy, right, that lives and breathes through us, vibrates through us, that we're not alone, and that we can remind ourselves that we are more than just these physical bodies, right? And that we can connect with this part of ourselves and feel more supported through that connection. So I hope that helps you. I'm going to end with that. Have a beautiful day.